Hey, greetings, Performance Reviews, where I give the review from the technician's point of view. And today we have a Simplicity S3600. This could also be a Riccar 1700 or a Riccar 1800. Now, in order to replace the hose, you need to replace the internal circuit board and part of the wiring harness, and that's what we're going to go through today. As you can see, this was made in Best Korea. Let's go ahead and disassemble it. These screws here are just Phillips number 2. You want to wedge this pedal off and undo that. You also want to undo this little black frame, and that should free everything off. Molex style connectors there you can remove. Now this pin on the back is a source of trouble. Some of them are screws, some of them have to be drilled out, so it depends on your machine. You're also going to see that you're going to need to remove one of the wiring harnesses out of the machine, and it's not going to be nearly as clean and neat as it was from the factory. You're going to need to take the motor out of the machine and replace the wire harness going into the motor. They do give you plenty of leads. However, don't throw away all the old leads. You will end up needing to reuse one of them. Also, you're going to note that this is really not going to make an airtight seal like it once had, so if that really bothers you, you might need to silicone sally this machine. Again, refer to the instructions that come with this kit because we are rewiring the entire machine and replacing that small little circuit board as well. Once we have the cover off, all you have to do is unplug the circuit board and let the fun begin with this circuit board kit, which is absolutely crazy. You're going to need to follow the instructions Tacony gave you. Meanwhile, I'm going to take everything and wash it and put it back together. Alright, it's a new day and I have everything washed and dried, and we're going to start patching this thing back together. And it is, well, it is what it is. So I've got the motor, and we're going to just start replacing wires everywhere. So if you have the manual that comes with these parts, definitely just follow that in terms of how to wire it. I do have everything kind of in the correct place, so you can kind of tell by this video as well, but I just, fair warning, I might be going a little fast or whatnot. So yeah, and it doesn't really matter which way this goes. You just want to line this and this up. These wires, they just stick out one side. It doesn't really matter. So that's going to go in there, and that's going to go down and go in there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and put the screws. The screws for that are slightly different color. Alright, so after you have the screws in, we have this. Again, these screws will be notable. This is the heat sensor. Basically, this thermal coupler will stop the vacuum when things get too spicy in here. Unfortunately, it didn't save the board last time. So there's that. So that will just go on like that, and then that's the motor. Or I think the other way we can do that. There's two ways to do this. I cannot remember which is which. You can also wire it up with the cord reel in the middle. That might be the meta. So reading the instructions, it says dealer's choice. It says either or. Wonderful, Tacony. Just fucking wonderful. So yeah, that doesn't actually matter. Yeah, and we can see where. Ooh. We can see where she's been a spicy boy, and where the mount is not where it should be. Again, this is not something that was worth repairing. This was something that was like customer insisted upon repairing. So yeah, one other thing that's kind of sneaky about this, I should mention, is right here. Before I do this, you'll see these guys are just going to go under this gasket. You don't need very much loose wire in there, but they do. There's a spot right there for your wires. So if you're wondering where those should be, that's about where they should be. And then you just kind of push them out of the way, right under there. So yeah, that all will just slide in there. And there is a place for you to put, like, tuck the wires in on the cord rewind as well for wire management. So now that we have plenty of wire leads. All right. So now we got board. It's going to have power in and motor. And when you pull the board out, we're going to do two things. First, we just want to inspect, make sure the solder and all that is good. Soldering might have a fail point right here on this one. It does not look particularly good. But it's the only one I have, so we're doing that. Something's pulled out there. But it's very clearly labeled cord reel motor. So, yeah, you should have no trouble figuring that out. And it's like white and black labeling. So yeah, that should go right there. Everything should snap in place like so. And then, that's funny. This is the inconsistency at Tacony. They use two different size wire clip leads. So that one goes right there. That's funny. Okay, so now we've replaced the black. I must have put that in the right place then. So black, and then motor's dealer choice on here. We're just gonna do that. So upon wiring this up, because everything is Tacony and nothing is right, you're going to notice that some of these leads are different sizes. You're going to have to mismatch some stuff to make this thing work. That's why I don't like Tacony. Let's beta test things in public and just continue to beta test them 10, 20 years later. Alright, so we're going to put that guy on. And that guy will allow us to connect this. We'll go through here. That will connect right there. Well, let's talk about wiring on this thing. You'll need some of these to make everything work, because they actually don't give you anything but a couple of these extra, which means you're splicing things that aren't going to have the right connectors. So your motor is going to go right here, right? And your cord rewind is going to go there. And there's this hose, and the hose is going to go to the bottom section of the bellows. So we're going to put the hose in right there, and then we're going to just go and connect everything. So this has all new wiring in it as well as a circuit board. So that is how that should be. Yeah. So this is really tight right here, so when you're putting this back together, you're going to have to embrace the suck. My motor is loose. Gosh. I don't like that at all. I think I have a solution, though. I'll bet you one of those right there. Yep. Yeah, so that little guy. Plus some silicone there. We'll keep that from bouncing around, even though this is completely clapped out. And next, as we put this together, we're going to have the joy of working with this. So there's a, only goes one way, connector. And again, this is not the original connector, and nothing is how it was originally designed by Daewoo. Now, we have a redesign by Tacony. So, if something doesn't fit in place, just move the wires around. But that should be everything kind of in the body. I got some extras. Another thing is, this is old enough where things are breaking off. Not much I can do about it. Sometimes you can put a slightly longer screw in something. much of what I'm doing here. But everything is very, very questionable about this right now in terms of what's holding it together. So we're just going to go ahead and put in what we can, call it a day. It was missing some screws when it came in. So that was kind of a red flag there. I really don't like seeing stuff that's missing screws. Right after some searching, I found some Bissell screws and put those in. But really, this is truly on its last legs. At this time, before we put anything else on, we're actually going to do the bag of the filter. It will make the bag lid shut. So we're going to put that in. All right. As I kind of predicted would happen, this guy keeps coming out of place from where he should be. So he's going to go on like that. The lid, see that there's flexi spots right here. The lid's going to go here. Then this is going to go to one of these. So which one? I don't know. Good question. Let's result the useless service paper. It looks like there was I got that wrong. All right. So that one is just a gap. So that's how that's going to get wired up. And this is going to go in here. Again, make sure everything is tucked in, everything is in its place. Don't mess around with it. If it's not in its place, put it in its place. So that will go in there. Like so. Oh yeah, that gives me a real good feeling. And then your screws going in this will be short. Again, somebody else had taken this thing apart, so it's not going to have, I don't have enough Bissell screws to put this together. Maybe I do. We're going to put lock screws on this so that nobody messes with us in the future. Without security screwdrivers. Right, now we got two springs that are going to go where the pedals are. But right now what's important is that we see if it works, because everything has been changed. Well, that's power. All right, we got the brand new hose assembled in Mexico. Oh. Well, that is all working. Well, that is working. That is a great sign. I was kind of half expecting that to catch on fire. So now the pedals, you just kind of wobble them back in. They have clips forward and backwards. So clip there, so probably put them in this way first. Just give them a whack. Yeah, this one I remember being kind of a weird one. All right. Let's put this here. Filter. It's not sealed anymore. What's the point?
well, that is that. Thank you so much, folks, for watching. As always, give this video a thumbs up if this was useful to you. Share it. You can always comment or tip below as well. We like that. And remember, follow your instructions when you are doing this.